Hello, Commanders fans. Today we have some hot news that you can't miss. So get ready because there's a lot of important information coming. Before we start, we'd like to take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and stay up to date with all the news about our Washington Commanders. Don't forget to leave a like, which really strengthens our community and helps bring this content to the most passionate fans of the team. Now, without further ado, let's get straight to today's news. Commanders to re-sign Noah Brown. The creator of a game that will go down in franchise history, Noah Brown suffered a season-ending injury weeks after his Hail Mary touchdown. But the Commanders want to keep the former Cowboys and Texans wide receiver. Brown is re-signing with Washington on a one-year deal worth up to $4.5 million, ESPN's Adam Schefter tweets. Brown had overlapped with Dan Quinn in Dallas before playing 2 seasons in Houston. Brown is recovering from a season-ending injury in early December. He had previously indicated he expected a re-signing from the Commanders to begin. After KJ Osborne re-signed with Washington, Brown played a more notable role than a late-season slot addition. Coming off a late summer release from the Texans, Brown caught 35 passes for 453 yards in his Commanders debut. While Jaden Daniels' throw that started the Bears' free fall inflated Brown's yardage total, the former Texas WR has recorded 4 other games with 50-plus receiving yards. He'll be back and ready to compete for a spot as a backup alongside Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel. A clear backup for his first 5 NFL seasons, Brown became a reliable target in 2022 and has remained so ever since. After the Cowboys traded Amari Cooper, Brown took on a bigger role and recorded 555 receiving yards in 2022. The Texans added him to a one-year deal in 2023, and the 225-pound target helped a team depleted at receiver. Brown's 567-yard, 2-touchdown season helped C.J. Stroud during his Offensive Rookie of the Year season. Since then, Brown has played supporting roles for back-to-back Offensive Rookies of the Year. Brown's skill set differs from Osborne's, as the latter has primarily been a slot player throughout his career. Both will have a clear chance to complement the recently formed McLaurin-Samuel duo. Brown is entering his age 29 season. Despite not surpassing 185 yards in a season, he is still heading toward a 9th NFL leading rushing campaign. While Washington added Samuel, the team has been heavy on retention with its skill position group. Zach Ertz, John Bates, and Jeremy McNichols are also back in the fold. Commanders bolster defensive line with signing of Deatrich Wise. The Washington Commanders continue to bolster their defensive line for the 2025 NFL season. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the team has agreed to sign defensive end Deatrich Wise to a one-year, $5 million contract. This move aims to fill important gaps in the area, especially after Jonathan Allen left for the Minnesota Vikings in free agency and the expiration of Clelin Ferrell and Dante Fowler's contracts. With the retention of Darren Payne, Dorrance Armstrong, and the addition of rookie Jajon Newton, Washington still needed to add more depth and experience to the defensive line. The team began this rebuild with the impactful signing of defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw and followed it up with the arrivals of Eddie Goldman and now Deatrich Wise, significantly strengthening the area. Deatrich Wise has spent his entire NFL career with the New England Patriots, who selected him in the 4th round of the 2017 NFL Draft. During his 8 years with the team, he has become a consistent presence on defense, appearing in 126 of a possible 131 games and starting 61 games. His production has been steady, averaging just over 4.5 sacks per season, accumulating 34 tackles for loss and 90 quarterback hits. In the early years of his career, Wise played the role of a rotational rusher effectively, recording 9.5 sacks and 35 quarterback hits between 2017 and 2018. However, it took him 3 more years to surpass the 3-sack mark in a season again. In 2022, he had his best individual season, setting personal bests in sacks, 7.5, total tackles, 59, and tackles for loss, 7, as well as 11 quarterback hits. The following year, his production dropped off, resulting in 4.5 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, and 6 quarterback hits. In 2024, despite missing 2 games due to injury, he had a bounce-back campaign, finishing the year with 5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, and 8 quarterback hits. Wise's role with the Commanders. Wise is currently projected to start alongside Dorrance Armstrong on Washington's defensive line. However, that could change depending on new free agency signings or draft picks. Should the Commanders add more players to the area, it is possible that Wise could be shifted back to the rotational rusher role, where he enjoyed considerable success in the early years of his career. Meanwhile, the New England Patriots, his former team, were less affected by Wise's departure, as they bolstered their defensive line with the additions of former Philadelphia Eagles defensive tackle Milton Williams and former Arizona Cardinals defensive tackle Khyiris Tonga. While these players' characteristics are not identical to Wise's, their presence provides rotation options for the Foxborough franchise. With this signing, the Commanders take another step in overhauling their defense and seek to create a more robust and versatile defensive line for the 2025 season. Washington Commanders considered dream destination for $42 million offensive line reinforcement. It's no surprise that the Washington Commanders have been one of the most aggressive teams this offseason, looking to reshape and strengthen their roster through free agency and trades. The team has shown great commitment to becoming even more competitive, betting on strategic signings to close the gap on their division rivals. After reaching the NFC Championship game and suffering a tough loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, their direct opponent in the NFC East, the Commanders are determined to take the next step towards the Super Bowl. The goal is not only to get there, but also to win the franchise's fourth Lombardi Trophy. General Manager Adam Peters and his staff have been working hard this summer to close the gap between Washington and the other title contenders. However, there is still room for improvement, and a few positions remain areas of focus for reinforcement. One of these is the offensive line, a key area for protecting quarterback Jayden Daniels and ensuring he has enough time in the pocket to make plays. In 2024, Daniels has had to resort to the ground game frequently due to constant pressure from opponents, highlighting the need for reinforcement in this area. According to the 33rd team, a name that could be the ideal solution for this issue is still available on the market: veteran offensive tackle Cam Robinson. At 29 years old, Robinson is a respected pass blocker in the league, although he is not considered a spectacular talent. At this point, finding a starting left tackle spot could be a challenge for him, but a transition to right tackle makes sense. Even after acquiring Laramie Tunsil, the Washington Commanders could improve the right tackle position by replacing Andrew Wiley without compromising the salary cap too much, the website's analysis pointed out. Robinson has had a solid NFL career, having spent 8 seasons with the Jacksonville Jaguars before a brief stint with the Minnesota Vikings in 2024. While his last season was arguably the worst of his career, he is still viewed as an above-average player at the position and has the versatility to play in different spots on the offensive line. That flexibility could be extremely valuable for the Commanders, especially considering the injuries that impacted the line last season, including the absence of starting guard Sam Cosmi. Washington has already invested heavily in bolstering its offensive line by trading with the Houston Texans for Laramie Tunsil, one of the league's best left tackles. Now, the team could look to upgrade on the other end of the line by bringing in Robinson to the right tackle position. This would allow Andrew Wiley, currently the starting right tackle, to take on a depth role on the roster, becoming a solid rotational piece. With Robinson, the Commanders could provide more stability for Jayden Daniels and further strengthen their offensive plan. If a team truly wants to compete for the Super Bowl, investing in protecting its quarterback is an essential strategy to increase its chances of success.